why Swagger? Without Swagger, we can implement that. We have to remember lot of API stuff, right? So nowadays, like uh, day of microservice has lot of URL. So to remember microservice URL, it's very difficult stuff. And when developer will hand over to the testing team, developer have to prepare that lot of documentation like web service, REST web service and its body, and how it will be the structure. So all that thing has been resolved by Swagger. Okay, so now first, before Swagger implementation, what I have to do, I have to create microservice. Let me create a microservice. For any microservice structure, we have to make that controller, DAO, model, basic structure, right? And the service. And configurations here will prepare the Swagger related configuration stuff, and this is that main applications from where we are going to run it. And to prepare the microservice, so we will use that dependency SpringBoot dev tool, so that I don't have to restart anywhere, and Lombok if you want to use. And some machines it's not working, for example my systems it's not working, because it's about that simplification of the, you don't have need to write getter setter method or the constructor fields, right? And to string functionality, so you can use with the Lombok and Spring Data JPA H2 database. So it's that in we are going to use the in-memory H2 database. So if you when you are startup Spring Boot startup project, when you are include this one, so this will be included. And to implement the Swagger, what you need to do, you need to add the dependencies, Swagger dependencies, that's pom.xml. So you can take it from the copy paste from my GitHub link. And the first thing is that you have to prepare the model object, right? So at the rate entity, at the rate table, and since uh, generated value id, I don't want like getter setter method. So remember that getter setter method is must for book name and price, and I'm not going to use Lombok, so you have to use the getter setter method for that. And for book id, since it's at the rate generated value, so you don't need to put that, otherwise it will making wrong value, right? So it will be generated value every time. So it is in the sequence. So when you are creating book name and price, and it's the first one will be book id, and the second one will be number 2, third one is the number 3. So you don't have to give the ids explicitly. And for the repository, that's I have used the JPA repository, and since it's the H2 database, the in-memory database interface book repository extends JPA repository. And what I need to use that model as a book, and integers, since it's the data type of the primary key as integer. So this is a very simple. Now the service part. So I need to use the auto add for that book repository DAO layer, and going to save that save book for the post operation, and searching book, that's the get operation. I have to give that id from the controller, and find by id, and repository dot save. So that functionality is provided by the JP repository. And for the delete book, first you have to delete that with the id, and finally you will return the repository dot find all, will give the list of all that books. Okay, and you can write like get that all type of books also available. So multiple put operations also you can include that. So now let me see how controller structure and also mapping with the Swagger. Okay, so for controller, I at the rate rest controller, I don't have to give the response body every functions. Okay, so I have given the rest controller, and request mapping I have given in the top layer, because I need to map from Swagger. Okay, so here I put that book Rabi. uh, yeah, I have to give book Rabi of obviously you have to use that dot star. It's a must. Okay, otherwise it will not be mapped. And you need to import the static regex, okay, regex, and the functions API info. So here it's some more about the HTML of the Swagger. So you have to mention the title, descriptions, terms, license URL, versions, and build. So it's a more about the HTML structure. You can give any name, any URL. So it's as per you, okay, as per developer or the product policy, okay. And so is the Swagger URL is the localhost 8080, since I did not specify any port number, and the Swagger UI HTML. And you know that here in the configuration file, one is that controller, and the configuration file at that configuration at the enable Swagger 2, and the bean, it's the bean have to define, that's a docket. Okay, this is the heart of the Swagger. Okay, is the pom.xml you have to mention, and here you define. This is the just is the this part, it's a Swagger implementation. Other part what I have invested, it's about the microservice creations. Suppose when you have the microservice, you just need to include that sections. Okay, one is that in the pom.xml Swagger dependency, and you have to make that configuration. It will make your applications with the Swagger. Okay, and in the Swagger page, how with that Swagger page. Okay, so in the Swagger page, here I saw that how as I have mentioned that in the title, descriptions, terms and conditions, everyone is mapped. Okay, and also group name, whatever group name here you give, it will expose here. And when you are clicking on the book controller, it will show that the list of operation what you have done. I have done get, post and delete operation. Put operation I did not give. And first I make it like a post operation. Okay, so post operation, first you will find that structure already, and from that structure if you click that structure, you will uh, find that name of it. And when you say I give that, I did not mention here the ID, book name and the price, and the ID will be generated automatically. So first one will be the one. So when you are giving that book ID as a one, you will get that data. Okay, now it's just Swagger, we have achieved it. Now the question is that in the Swagger, you will see that operation name is the delete book, save book, search book, one what I have given. So if the function name is Java function name is something, it's a bigger one, or it's not, I mean, user friendly, right? For user friendly you have to write like space, and you can change it, right? For that you need to use the API operation, at the rate of API operation, and the value, if you whatever the give it the value. So I have changed only for the save and search, that's post operation, and the get operation it has been changed. And other operation, delete operation, I have not changed, so it's not reflected. So this is the simple way we can make that change. Okay, and let me show you the Swagger UI how it looks like. So in the post operations, you will see that book name, string, price, and when you click it here, you will see that here it's coming. Okay, and here I can give like different name like chemistry. Okay, say 77 or 67, whatever. And here you will see that 200 different, so you don't have to remember, so it's already given. So if it's a 200, so that means it's the operation is successful. Here you will find that Carl request URL also, and you see that response body uh, will so if it is successful, then it is a successful. Carl also giving us a successful. Okay, now the question is I have to get that uh, operation. So what's the chemistry? Okay, so here in the uh, get operations, here I have to give that ID. So give that to let me see what I see here. uh, if I give 2, I will since it's operations, I have to check it. Okay, it's not here. Okay, if it's a 1, let me check. So I have included 1, so I get 1. If I give 2, I will get null. So now we see for 1, I see chemistry 67. Let me add uh, one more book. Okay, let me add one more book here. Say uh, Bengali 77. Okay, so here if I try it out, see the card, so it has been added. Okay, now I will see the get operation again. uh, in the list of the parameter, if you give 2, you should get Bengali, right? I can see that Bengali. And 77, if I give 1, you will get the other one, chemistry, right? So this way I can get it. Okay, I can make that delete operation also. Let me see what one. Say I want to delete uh, book ID, so I want to delete say 2 or 1. Okay, I want to delete 1 and C, so it should Bengali only. So book ID is present but cannot translate into null value. Okay, something going wrong. I will check it later. Okay. uh, okay, so this way you can explore that operations, and you see that say book by Rabi, search by Rabi. So this way you can explore it. Okay, and so happy learning, Swagat too. Thank you very much.